The Ethereum blockchain basically crashed because of the biggest NFT drop ever. This is gonna be the main news of the week, but there's a lot of other stuff that happened this week, which it's basically every week. It's the same story. A lot of stuff happens in tech every week. So we're gonna talk about that, but also about Meta releasing a huge AI model, open source, free for everybody. We're gonna talk about Snapchat releasing a drone that takes pictures. We're gonna talk about the European Union releasing its own social media platform. This is it's gonna be a weird one. And then some news about the war between Instagram and TikTok. Fasten your seatbelt and let's get started. The Ethereum blockchain was basically crashed by the biggest NFT drop ever. Let's understand how and why. I hope you heard already about Bored Ape Yacht Club. In 5 seconds, these are Bored Apes. There are NFTs that were sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars to people like Eminem, Taylor Swift, etc, etc. Now, the company behind Bored Ape Yacht Club is called Yuga Labs, and recently they decided to launch their own metaverse. It's gonna be called Other Side, and it's gonna be apparently amazing. You're gonna be able to do a lot of different things. Play games, buy, of course, swag, participate to exclusive events, etc, etc. And this is a big thing, because Bored Ape Yacht Club is the biggest player in the NFT space, and so when they launch a new metaverse, well, you can expect pretty crazy things. So this week, they started selling pieces of land in their new metaverse as NFTs, obviously, but things didn't go according to plan. They started selling 55,000 NFTs that represent the ownership of one single piece of land using Ape Coin, which is a coin that they launched based on the Ethereum blockchain. And here comes the problem. When you want to create an NFT, you need to mint it, and to mint it, you need to spend some Ethereum that are called gas fees. These are basically, imagine like a cost that you need to pay for the blockchain to do the magic work of saying that NFT exists and it's owned by you. It's like a fee, okay? Just money you need to spend. Now, the more the blockchain is used, the more the gas fees go up. And the problem in this case was that so many people wanted to mint these NFTs to buy a piece of land in other side, the gas fees skyrocketed up to $6,000 per mint, which basically means that some people spent twice as much in gas fees as the price of the NFT. In total, $123 million were just burned in gas fees. There's one very interesting thing here. Yuga Labs said, hey guys, this is a clear example that ApeCoin, so their own cryptocurrency, cannot stay on Ethereum forever, which means that they're gonna have to build their own cryptocurrency. And some people, like also some Ethereum developers, think that what Yuga Labs did was an entire strategy to have an excuse to move ApeCoin to their own blockchain. And that's because the way that they structured this sale of virtual land, the way that the smart contract was built, didn't seem to be optimized to try to reduce gas fees. It seemed like they almost were naive. And this is a company that is a genius in the NFT space. So it's unlikely that they didn't think about this. It's more likely, some people say, that they did it on purpose to show the world that there's a strong need for them to build their own blockchain. Meta released a huge AI model for free to everybody. It's called the Open Pre-trained Transformer, and it's basically a copy of GPT-3, which is an AI model developed by OpenAI that, even though it's developed by a company called OpenAI, it's a closed model. You cannot see how it works, you cannot see behind the hood, you don't really know how they built it, but you can access it using a paid API, which is basically just a paid service that OpenAI sells. So Meta basically built a copy of this model and gave it away for free to researchers for them to study, alongside with more than 100 pages of documentation of all the different tests that they've done to build this, all the different errors that they've done and what they've learned along the way. There's a good and a bad thing to this. The good thing is that obviously by making this model open, it's gonna enable people to understand it, to study it, and to use it as well without having to pay OpenAI. But there's also a bad thing. You see, this model is extremely powerful. It's a language model, which means that it can generate language that seems like it's being written by a human. And the fact that now it's going to be open source means that anybody, also malicious actors that want to spread misinformation, are going to be able to use it. And so it's going to be interesting to see whether the positive outcomes of releasing this model open source are going to be more than the bad outcomes. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think this is a good idea, or we are about to be completely flooded with spam? Snapchat released an autonomous drone. It's called Pixie and it's super cute. It weighs just 110 grams, you can fit it in your pocket, and it's completely autonomous. Basically, you turn it on and you set one of 6 features. You can set it to just fly and stay where it is. You can set it to fly and move away from you, to follow you, to circle around you, etc. The product is fully autonomous. It has 2 cameras, one to shoot pictures and the other one to understand where it is and to land back on your hand. And some people were confused about why the hell does Snapchat release a fully autonomous drone? But even Spiegel, the CEO, said, hey, in the end of the day, Snapchat is a camera company. And this drone is nothing more than a fully autonomous flying camera. That's how they see the product. But there's probably much more to this little drone. You see, Snapchat bought a company that is developing a technology to control computers with your brain. And so if you look at this map, you have Snapchat that has spectacles, so AR glasses. It's buying technology to control computers with your brain, and now has a drone. What if this drone is going to be controllable with your brain to tell you where to go and where to take pictures? I don't know if this is going to happen, but when a journalist asked this question to Ivan Spiegel, he started laughing. So maybe there is something crazy in the works. The European Union announced their own social media platform, which is based on a software called Mastodon, which is basically an open source Twitter. And so this is going to be extremely interesting because the European Union has been very, very angry at social media platforms like Twitter or Facebook for not being good at moderating content, for not being good at, keeping the place safe for people and not being good at spreading misinformation, etc., etc. What social media companies have said, though, is, hey, this is not easy, and you're not telling me exactly what to do and how to do it. So if now the European Union is going to play the social media game, I'm extremely curious to see whether they're going to manage to run this place in a way that is clean and nice, exactly like they want, or if they're going to actually find out that this shit is hard. My prediction is that either this social media is not going to be used, or if it's going to be used, they're going to start having the same problems that a lot of the big social media companies have. I think we just have to deal with the fact that people sometimes are angry, and people sometimes misbehave, and they do that on social media all the time. And so that's more of a societal problem than a social media problem. So I wish the best of luck to whoever in the EU is running this social media thing. But again, I have low expectations. Let's see how it's going to evolve. There are some huge news in the war between Instagram and TikTok. Let's start with Instagram first. The CEO of Instagram announced that they're gonna start testing a new user interface where content is gonna take full space on your app, which basically means that they're gonna test exactly the same user interface that TikTok has. And this is really important. I've been saying for months that the biggest innovation that TikTok introduced is the UX, which is perfect not just for people to scroll, but especially for algorithms to measure what you like and what you don't. And if now Instagram is going to start using the same technology, it's probably going to have algorithms as good as TikTok from now on, which is going to make the experience much more similar to TikTok. Let's see how this evolves. There are also big news from TikTok, but more from the commercial and business model point of view. The company has been criticized because their creators fund is very small and doesn't give a lot of money to the creators that produce the content on the platform. But now it's gonna make something entirely different. They're gonna start using more of a YouTube model. YouTube gives 50% of the revenues from ads to the persons making the videos. If I make a video on YouTube and gets millions of views, and from these millions of views, YouTube makes $10 million, I get $5 million. That's how it is. And it's pretty great if you're a creator. TikTok is gonna test the same model. The top videos on TikTok are gonna start having attributed revenues to them. So they're basically gonna say, hey, your video got a lot of views and this is how many ads were viewed by people thanks to your video. You get 50% of the money that we made as well. And I think this is gonna be huge because if it actually works, it means the creators on TikTok are gonna start making a lot of money, exactly like creators on YouTube. And this is gonna change completely the game because where creators spend their energy, users are gonna go. Thank you for watching this episode of This Week in Tech. Now, I want you to do something. Go in the comment section and tell me which one was your favorite news and what are your thoughts about it. I'm gonna comment on the most interesting perspectives in my next video. I'll see you in the comment section. Ciao.